When we hear the name Alice in Wonderland, we often imagine a children's story. A curious girl, a rabbit hole, talking animals, and strange adventures. But the more closely we look at Wonderland, the more it begins to look like our own world. This story was born on a summer day in 1862. Lewis Carroll, whose real name was Charles Lutwidge Dodson, was rowing a boat along the River Thames with 3 young girls, including Alice Little. To entertain them, he invented a spontaneous story about a girl who falls into a strange world after chasing a rabbit. Alice loved the story so much that she asked him to write it down. A few years later, the tale became the book we know today, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, published in 1865. There is one reason the book feels so remarkably unusual. Dodson was not only a storyteller, he was also a mathematician and lecturer in logic at Christ Church, Oxford. His fascination with logic, paradoxes, and language deeply influenced the story. And this is one reason the book continues to captivate readers, both children and adults. The story begins with Alice sitting beside her sister on a riverbank. She feels bored. Then suddenly, she sees something impossible. A white rabbit, dressed in clothes, running past while looking anxiously at a pocket watch. Curious, Alice follows the rabbit and falls down a deep rabbit hole. The fall seems endless. As she descends, she notices cupboards, shelves, and strange objects passing by. It feels less like falling and more like crossing a hidden boundary, leaving the ordinary world behind and entering one where logic no longer quite works. Finally, she lands safely and enters a mysterious hallway filled with locked doors. Here she discovers a tiny golden key and a very small door leading to a beautiful garden. But Alice is too big to enter. Soon she finds a bottle labeled "Drink Me." When she drinks it, she shrinks to a tiny size. But now she cannot reach the key on the table. After eating a small cake labeled "Eat Me," she suddenly grows enormous. These constant changes leave her confused about who she really is. At one point, she wonders, who in the world am I? Ah, that's the great puzzle. Alice's question captures her journey of growing up, her quest to understand herself, and her search for meaning in a world where logic often has no hold. Soon, Alice meets a mysterious caterpillar perched on a mushroom. The caterpillar asks, "Who are you?" The same question Alice still struggles to answer. Later, she comes across one of literature's most famous characters, the Cheshire Cat, who appears and vanishes at will, leaving only its grin behind. Alice asks for directions. "Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here?" "That depends a good deal on where you want to get to." "I don't much care where." "Then it doesn't matter which way you go. Without a clear destination, any path will do." One of the most famous scenes is the Mad Tea Party. Here Alice meets the Mad Hatter, the March Hare, and the Sleepy Dormouse. They sit around a large table filled with teacups. But something strange has happened. The Mad Hatter explains that he once argued with time. Since then, time has refused to move forward for him. So it is always 6 o'clock, always tea time. As a result, the characters must constantly move around the table as cups become dirty. The conversation is filled with nonsense riddles and strange logic, reflecting the world of adults with its absurd rules, rules that make no sense yet must be followed. One of the Hatter's most famous questions is, why is a raven like a writing desk? The riddle famously has no real answer. At this point in the story, something interesting begins to happen. Alice has now met several strange characters. The caterpillar, the Cheshire Cat, the Mad Hatter. Each encounter feels chaotic and confusing. But if we look closely, a pattern appears. Every character challenges Alice with the same question in different ways. Who are you? Eventually, Alice enters the chaotic court of the Queen of Hearts. The Queen is famous for her dramatic command, "Off with their heads." She orders executions constantly. One of the strangest events in Wonderland is the Queen's Croquet game. Instead of normal equipment, the players use flamingos as mallets and hedgehogs as balls. The playing cards serve as arches. Everything moves. Nothing follows the rules. The game quickly dissolves into complete chaos. The story reaches its climax during the trial of the Knave of Hearts, accused of stealing the Queen's tarts. The courtroom is absurd. The evidence makes no sense. The witnesses contradict each other. The rules constantly change. Finally, Alice grows large again and begins to challenge the nonsense around her. She declares that the entire trial is ridiculous. The court is nothing more than a pack of playing cards. At that moment, the entire world of Wonderland collapses, and Alice wakes up beside her sister on the riverbank. Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland is a rich, multi-layered tale that invites reflection on identity, the boundaries of logic, the joys and confusions of childhood, and the follies of the adult world. Children enjoy its imagination. Adults recognize its deeper questions, because at some point in life, everyone experiences a moment like Alice falling down the rabbit hole. A moment when the world suddenly feels confusing. In that instant, the familiar becomes unfamiliar, and we are forced to see reality in a new way, questioning what we know and who we are.